morning and welcome to the regularly scheduled September 18th, 2023 meeting of the Fairport Municipal Commission. And can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Jordan.
Present.
Commissioner Stuckey.
Here.
Commissioner Fritsch.
Here.
Commissioner Slava.
Here.
Commissioner Keefe.
Present.
All present.
Thanks, Brian. No visitors today, and we do have some minutes of previous meetings that we need to approve and file. So we have a motion for the June 15th, the July 17th, and the August 21st meetings. I will recuse myself for the June and the August because I was not here. Do we have any comments, questions, or motion? Go ahead,
Move to
Brian.
approve?
Commissioner Keefe, can we do them each one separately since
Yeah.
there's some you're going to recuse from, just so I can get a vote on that?
Can, Brian. Okay, let's do the Thursday, June 15th minutes first.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
And one recusal, that's myself. Monday, July 17th minutes. Questions, comments, motion?
I'll take the motion.
You have a motion on the floor,
I'll second.
and we have a second, and those in favor?
Aye.
And I was present for that meeting, so I was included on that one. And the last one is Monday, August 21st, and I'll recuse myself for that one too. Any comments, questions, or motion?
Move to approve?
Second.
And we have a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're on to new business. We have on the agenda this morning a number of items for consideration. And
Okay,
Matt, would you be kind enough,
absolutely.
if you
So
would?
we opened up three basically email bids pricing for some items. I'm just gonna try to keep you in the loop on these, just so you can kind of see the volatility that we still see. The first item was 2,850 feet of 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC conduit, and this truly follows the price of oil. You know, we actually came in a little under where we thought it would be, which was okay. Pretty quick turnaround, which was good. This is still substantially more than we had ever paid historically, if you look back that, 3-4 years ago. But I think this is just a new normal. Crown Electric has supplied it in the past. They had everything they should have, and the price was good, so that was my recommendation to take that one. Item 2 was the replacement light poles. These are the existing light poles on Liftbridge Lane that we installed with your last time the street was redone. So was that 20 years ago? Motor vehicle accidents and other things that have taken them out. We just replace them. Both bidders did unfortunately bid a pole that wouldn't fit on the existing concrete base. So we had to reject both those bids, and we'll go back out for bids on those. Because we need to reuse the existing concrete base, it's a specific type of pole that we need. Item 3, the sectionalizing enclosures, came in substantially lower. What was interesting is the ones that were the least last time were the Hubble ones, which we see at 13,000, which was over my estimate. But we did find some other vendors now that seem to have jumped back in the loop, which is good. So that's pretty good pricing. Urban Utilities and Nordic Fiberglass, which we had bought historically, but they have not submitted a bid in quite some time. So it is good to see some of those come back. Long lead time, it's half a year, but it is, we can make that work. So those are 3 recommendations for those items, and if we get a motion for that one.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Any comments, questions for Matt relative to these?
Okay, just one quick one. So Matt, the decorative light poles for Liftbridge Lane, I saw on the following page here when you're going to go out to bid again, that the price is a little bit higher. Do we anticipate that with that base sizing?
Only because the prices that came in for the ones which were similar but wouldn't fit were higher. I did bump up the pricing.
Okay.
That is way more than we had paid in the past, but I think it was 4 years ago when we actually bought these last time. So, you know, it's tough to get, you know, you just don't know where they're gonna be. These are aluminum pole, but I did bump up the price.
Okay.
All set then? May we have a motion?
I'll take the motion.
We have a motion on the floor,
I'll second.
and we have a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed. Thank you.
And then material that we're gonna go out and get pricing on, the first item is 30 LED traditional lights. These are the ones you see all across the village. What's interesting is all of our Generation 1 lights, which were installed, are failing at a pretty steady rate right now. You know, this is the problem with LEDs, you know, they promise long life, but it's not quite true. There is still issues with the drivers and the LED boards. So most of the village, we will end up replacing one at a time as they fail.
We put those up, Matt, what, 6 years ago, 5 years ago?
Yeah.
So,
Truly that soon, and they are, and there's a lot of streetlights that we're talking about.
and they're not fixable, unfortunately. You know, when the LEDs go up, and we all know what the the boards look like. You know, if half the LEDs go out and they're so dim, and you're starting to see this. If you drive around at night now, the village is definitely darker. You know, but we'll replace them as they fail. I mean, we're not just gonna, you know, do carte blanche and replace them all. You know, do some last longer than others? I'm sure they will. But, you know, that manufacturing, that Generation 1 of those fixtures is,
It's
surely
sad to
not
only get
perfect.
5 years out of a light, though, when you're talking about you put them out through the entire municipality.
That's crazy.
Matt, do you have any idea what's the total number we have of those throughout the village?
We have about 3,500 in our system.
And we replaced them all to get to LED neutral.
But some of those are Generation 2, Generation 3. Now what we're actually into a Generation 4 type fixture. So there's probably less than 1,000 of the Generation 1.
Still a lot.
It's still a lot of fixtures, but, you know, some we will see last longer and some that won't. So,
Yeah.
just kind of giving a heads up as you see. And what you'll start to see as we replace them on the streets, they are brighter because they've diminished in this 5-6 years since we put them up.
Yeah.
So you see what seems like a bright spot, when in reality, they were all that bright when we put them up.
Right.
So you'll start to see that.
And when we made that switch, it was well-received by
100%.
by
Oh, yeah.
everyone too, so.
Right.
And from the generational standpoint, Matt, are we have any confidence that they'll last longer, or, you know, the technology has improved that much?
It has improved. You know, the biggest thing with LEDs is heat dissipation. You know, if they don't have a good heat sink and they can't get rid of the heat, that's what causes them to burn out.
Yeah.
And they're heavier now. So it's, you know, you'd think as they make them better, they make them lighter and more, in reality, they need more weight because they gotta have these heat sinks in to dissipate the heat. So they have gotten better for sure. We
Yeah,
definitely,
okay.
you know, we don't see the failure, you know, the ones Generation 2, 3s that we have out there, we don't see the light diminish as quickly.
Yeah.
So they are better. I mean,
Right.
that's part of technology, I guess.
Yes.
So it's still diminishing, that tends to go with LEDs, but it's a longer
So it's
trajectory.
more of a flatline curve than what typically had, it's like a lithium-ion battery. They'll stay pretty steady, and then they just drop right off at failure, which is, an ideal world is what you want.
Yeah.
So, you know, they do have that technology right now. The other item is the rebid of the replacement light poles, just for motor vehicle accidents and things on Lift Bridge Lane. Like I said, these are replacing the existing poles and not anything new. So.
Okay. Any further questions or concerns with these two items? If not, could entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion,
Second.
we have a second. All those in favor? No opposed. Thank you. And I guess we get into some interesting topics here at the moment.
Yeah.
Would you, Matt or Brian, which one?
It doesn't matter, either way. And a lot of these are just discussion topics. New York Power Authority, the Board of Directors is going to be visiting us on the 25th. They're doing another presentation at Brockport while they're here, doing a visit. And then the Canal Corp, in conjunction with the the New York Power Authority will be coming by to visit one of the munis, obviously. So they're going to visit Fairport. They're going to come to FMC and get a little tour of the facility. Matt and I are going to put together some type of presentation. That remains to be seen. Hopefully we'll learn more today at our 11 o'clock conference call with them. And then they're going to visit Lift Bridge Lane West and some of the docking spaces over there, which the Canal Corp had put some money in via a grant to assist in that project, as well as the Type 2, the DC chargers that are the Village Landing parking lot. So that'll be happening that day. It'll probably be an hour and a half type thing, and it's more of kind of just a show, kind of walk through. The board of directors are here, they're making a visit, that type of thing. So we're preparing for that. It's not a big hoorah by any stretch, but something they're coming here for. We're going to try to do it the best that we can to make their visit good. Matt wants to, get balloons and take out billboards and stuff. So we're trying to control his enthusiasm a little bit.
Well, I would suggest one hot air balloon.
He wants to do it all, I'm telling you. Well, paint the truck and get it wrapped and all this stuff.
Hot air balloon, and off I go.
Do we have a time on that, Brian? Or do we not know?
What is it? I think they're here at
4 o'clock or so.
4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's a long day. I think it'll be a very quick thing, and they may be running in out of time, or weather might delay some of this anyway. When they're only talking about a 10 or 15-minute type presentation, we're really just kind of talking about the history of our system, understanding the partnership between NYPA and the munis in general. Matt's got a great picture down there where they were signing the original hydropower agreement with the parties and stuff in Moses. So that's pretty cool. And it's also on the agenda. The MUA board gets to visit the hydro plant in Niagara Falls this week too. So that's a great little tour. It's something neat that they're opening up and allowing us to go in there. That's been closed down for quite some time for public view, just due to the sensitivity of it, 9/11. So that's really a cool opportunity to see that. And the other part of it too is I think they want to amplify the need to replace all the turbines in there. This is a big project they're going through. There's 10 of them, I believe. Massive project in the billions of dollars. With that, there's no secret that all our municipal rates are going up, and they're going to go up quite a bit. So understanding the magnitude of the project, the expense associated with it, helps us sell it to our systems as well, which is fine, but I think that's part of it as well. And it's just a good thing to do. So looking forward to doing that. But yeah, we'll be all set for the 25th. Should be good. We've done a walkthrough with them already to kind of see what they want. Again, we have a call today about that, so should be fine. Should be fine.
If you could just keep the commissioners, I wouldn't mind coming down.
If you guys want to come, it's perfectly fine. We'll send you exactly the time we're going to know a lot more today, and we'll send you something if you want to come and meet everybody and do that. When we were talking to them last, it was kind of like, we were thinking about, well, it'd be nice to have some staff there and you guys and the board there. They kind of made it seem like they don't want to make this big hoorah and have all this stuff and do a lot of glad handing. So I'm not really sure what that looks like. So again, we will find out more today. And once we do that, because we're going to say, if they're going to be here, we want to show it off. I'm sure you guys want to meet them. We'll do that.
Yeah,
we'll do
you
that.
can let me know if I need
Will
to
do.
bring. Yeah, I'll bring the balloons if you want, so.
Bring the balloons.
Yeah, okay.
So that'd be great. That'd be great.
Great.
It seemed when we met with them, they were really concerned with where they were going to eat and what was going on. So that seemed to be the priority when we
Had
talked about
bigger
it.
concerns.
It definitely seemed to be the thing to talk about. So
Well, we have a few places to eat, so.
I don't think they're eating here in Fairport.
Or staying.
Yeah, no. So yeah, any questions on that? We'll send you something out today when we know a little more.
Sounds good. Thanks, Brian.
But we're happy that they chose us to kind of host them and that type of thing.
Good. Okay. Want to move on to, I think, Matt, this next one might be yours on the Hogan substation.
So we've spent some time this summer testing the 2 transformer units in question. They've reached the 40-year lifespan. They did test very well, so we feel that we can extend the life. We've had a couple conversations with engineering consultants that typically do the bid specs, and PLM, and then John Tucker. They're going to start working on bid specs, and we're hoping to have something done by the end of the year, at least so we can start to review We'll most likely put something out in either the first or second quarter, because transformers themselves, there won't be much work, but in the switchgear, we're talking new relays, we're talking new breakers, basically rebuilding the existing switchgear up to today's standards. So all of us are on the same page and feel it is a good project. So we'll start working on that. So it's more just I want to let you know that we did come out, the testing came out well. And as we get closer and we put things out for bid, we'll surely keep you in the loop. It's significantly less than the full replacement. Right now, we're kind of engineering estimate is about a $1.3 million project. Instead of if we do this full replacement, we're between 10 and 15 million to do this.
You're talking about 20 years possibly out of this too, right?
Correct. Yeah,
That's
the plan is to
huge.
extend this another 20 years. And then, once the switchgear is done, even if we had to just replace just the transformers, I mean, yes, it's significant cost down the road. You're talking, the 8 or 10 million. The switchgear could still stay. The work we do now, so just be a good project. There's a lot of work. We do plan to do almost all of this internally again, like we've done all the other substation projects. We have a really, really good team that we've trained to work in the substations, and this is what helps us during the middle of the night and off hours when we have issues. They can immediately start repairs and do things. We're not relying on others. So that'll be the plan. And with that, I'd sent out an email last Friday about a substation tour. If tomorrow at 2 o'clock works, I'll send out a calendar invite. I know it did work for most. I would like to do Hogan. We could do both if you'd like, but they're both very, very similar. If we want to do Hogan, we could do that one. I can kind of show you exactly, show you the new switchgear in the front, old switchgear in the back, and just kind of show you the differences as we walk around the station.
Okay.
Also what, Matt, as Matt alluded to with the costing, there's some timing that's going into the project, and two is, as we try to go through a rate case process, we want to make sure whatever the cost of these and the proposed estimates can be built into a competent rate case analysis, so we can make sure those monies are incorporated and we can get a return on those expenses sooner than later versus sitting on our books and then 3 or 4 years later when we go through a rate filing, the next one after this one, that we're not eating those costs and showing deficiencies for those. Holly gets upset when things like that happen. So, so that the timing of this and really making sure as we go through this process we can incorporate those is important. We don't have $1.5 million sitting in the bank right now to go sit on a switchgear, so.
Very good, thank you. So we're on for tomorrow then, Matt, I guess?
Yes, I'll send out a calendar invite, but if we could do 2 o'clock tomorrow. As you come out there, the address is 289, but it's right next to the mini storage. If you look to the right of the mini storage, there's a long driveway. You can pull right up that driveway through the open gate.
This is the Hogan one.
At Hogan,
Yeah.
yes. So I'll put some directions in the calendar invite I send out to you.
Okay, great, thank you. Next couple of matters, I don't know, Brian or Matt?
Either way,
I don't
go ahead,
know
Matt.
which one.
So the next one's
guys wanna
interesting.
take?
So this was the incident response. Our incident response plan definitely needs updating. I mean, it is, Laura and I have been working at that, and we will get this wrapped up relatively soon. We have a drill that was scheduled for September. The Power Authority has pushed it back to October. And these are important. This tests you, and they don't know what they're either gonna test this on a weather type event, a cybersecurity event, or a physical intrusion event. They don't tell you, so there's 6 or 8 of us across the state that are taking part of this with the Power Authority, and each one of us will have a slightly different scenario that we'll do a 1-day drill with our whole team facility. Brian and Holly will be involved, and along with all the rest of the staff. So we're finishing up the incident response plan, and then we'll be ready for this drill. But we expect to make mistakes. That's why you do the drills. But some are easier than others. We'll see how this plays out.
So you'll know when it is, you just won't know which scenario?
Correct. We do know the date. They have pushed it back at least once. It wouldn't surprise me if they push it back again. I think everybody's in the same boat, that they may not quite be ready, including the Power Authority. But we'll be ready when they are.
Okay,
So is it
And the next one, so it's interesting, about a week ago, on a Thursday afternoon, about 3 o'clock, we see a car pull into our Hogan substation. We had the gates open. The power authority was in testing our meters, so we had opened the gates for them. So they pulled right up next to the substation, right next to a camera, literally up next to a camera. It's a car with New Jersey plates. We see two guys get out with yellow shirts, and they unfold this great big drone, this 4-foot drone, and they fly our substation. And about 15 minutes later, they skedaddle, gone. By the time we could get there, do anything, you know, the dispatchers had alarmed. End of the day, there was a shift change, so we missed getting there when they were right there. But we had license plate, we had pictures, we had everything, and it checked all the boxes. You know, everything that we get on a daily basis, notifications across the country of people doing this, and then they come back with, you know, not good intentions. So we notified law enforcement, who escalated this right away once they saw the video to the FBI. The FBI investigated. I was still getting calls 8, 9 o'clock that night from local police and the FBI saying this is how we've gone. They did subpoena one of the rental car companies the Friday morning to kind of show, you know, to get the information from the renter. The car had been rented in Buffalo at the airport. When they called him, he said, "Oh, I'm a National Grid contractor." No signs on the car, no signs on his shirt or anything else of these two gentlemen. So I called National Grid and said, would you? They said, oh yeah, we have a contractor named that. And it just, so it made us feel better. It was only a contractor, but it checked all the boxes.
Yeah.
And then it was interesting how it really ramped up in National Grid. I talked to more people in National Grid than I've ever talked to, you know, security people, and they couldn't believe it happened either. I sent them the video and they said, yeah, you're right, it checked all the boxes, you know, of a terrorism basically. But they consider these terrorism events until they can prove otherwise. So, I mean, the FBI does challenge us every once in a while, check us, you know, they'll test us. And honestly, I thought this was one of those because they literally pulled up in front of the camera. They never looked up though, they had mirrored glasses on. But it was so much like a scenario that you review after the fact. It was just interesting.
And the car was even weird too. It was brand new. It was really shiny, like this maroon, really fancy car, like 20-inch polished black wheels on it. Like, this is not your contractor grade. Let me go, because they flew in from Wisconsin, got into Buffalo Airport, rented a car. Like, as Matt said, it checked the boxes. But when they get out and everything is suspect, their heads are down, and this car, it's not something you would expect them to rent and do what they're doing and so forth. It's
Signage,
just,
no anything. In reality, what they were doing, they were hired. If someone notifies National Grid that one of their wooden poles has woodpecker damage, this company goes out and investigates, and they fly the drone around the wooden pole, and they get good information for National Grid. So in reality, they didn't really fly our substation, but from our cameras, which aren't pointing up, we could only tell they took off right next to our substation, but they flew out in the right of way. They looked at National Grid poles, they came back. So it was harmless, but the same token, it was a good test. So it did work. I mean, everybody learned a little bit, and you know, one sleepless night was all we got out of it.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'd have to say, if they picked the wrong woodpeckers, it might take that drone down.
exactly,
You know?
exactly. So, but yeah, it was, you know, National Grid is changing their procedure and policy. You know, they now have almost a little like an A-pillar type sign they're gonna put up next to when they take the drone off. It says National Grid Contractor. And they said they can't put signs on most of these doors, they're usually magnetic. Most of the cars now have aluminum skins, they don't sign.
That's
They
true.
really can't be slapping stickers on rental cars. So, but either way, they're gonna sign things and make it, at least so we would realize that. And they said,
Yeah.
you know, and they had made some notifies, unfortunately, they had notified the power authority, not us. You know, so just, they've cleared up that procedure, but, yeah, it was a good test. I'm glad it turned out this way and not a different way. So,
Well, made for an exciting 24 hours, eh?
exciting 24 hours, yes.
Well, it's like a,
Well,
It's like an instant
it's like a,
response plan.
right.
We got
It's a
tested.
test, you know, you passed, good job. But they were in and out in like 15 minutes.
It was less than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally unfolded the drone, took off, and then gone. But like I said, it's just they never looked up. Black hats, baseball hats, mirrored glasses. It just, yeah, it was
It's like on TV.
It
And New
was-
Jersey plates.
In New Jersey, it was a rental car.
Yeah.
Which most of them have.
Yeah.
I just, yeah, everything that you, when you go back and review the other incidents around the country, it matched
Yeah.
so many parts of those scenarios. Wow. All good. All good.
I'm glad it is.
Yes.
Thanks, Matt. That's a good one. Holly, is this your time?
It is. Good morning. We have the draft August 2023 financial report. It is considered draft because our May 2023 audit, while the field work has been completed, they're still working on finalizing the final audit adjustments. We are able to provide them with the actuarial report late last week, so they now have all of the information that they can provide us with the financial audit adjustments, so we should be seeing those shortly. In terms of the August 2023 financial report, we had about a $25,000 profit for the month of August. We are at a 17.5% of budgeted revenues for the year and 16.9% of expenses. In the month of August, we refunded some of the overcollection of PPAC from prior months, so that was a revenue, but it didn't actually, we didn't have cash coming in. It was just a reduction of that liability. So that said, there was a $270,000 net decrease in cash for the month. That's related to that overcollection refund, as well as this was one of the 2 months of the year where we're actually paying out 3 payrolls because we're paying every other week. So cash-wise, there was an additional payroll going out, but we still have the expenses related to 1 month for this financial report.
Any questions or further discussion with Holly on any of the numbers? Thanks, Holly. If not, do we have a motion to receive and file and accept the financial report?
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second?
Have a second? Those in favor? No opposed? And next would be payment of the current vouchers. Motion,
Move to approve?
thank you.
Second?
And we have a second? In favor? Aye.
Aye.
No opposed? And that takes us to our next regularly scheduled meeting, which is Monday, October 16th at 8 a.m. And do we have any non-topics of the agenda that the staff or commissioners want to bring up? Mayor?
All I'll ask is to give you a reminder to please make sure that if you haven't completed your workplace violence, sexual harassment, and anti-bias training, to please go online. You should have a link in your email someplace. Has to be completed by October,
Yeah, this month.
the end of this month, October 1st, so
Okay.
September 30th. If you have any questions about those links, I believe you can email Megan and she can make sure that you get the appropriate links.
Okay.
And it shouldn't take that much of your time, but it is really important for us with regard to regulations from New York State that we get them completed in a timely manner. So if you haven't done it, please do it. Even if you do something like this elsewhere in another job, it really doesn't take much of your time. Please complete it. And if for any reason, issues around that, I know there is a verification that you can provide, but it's really pretty quick and easy. So
Yeah.
please, if you haven't completed it, please complete it. That's all I have.
We'll forward you guys some links again, just to make sure you have it at the top of your box.
I think I either missed it or didn't get it.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah, I
don't
didn't-
think
I
I
didn't
received
receive
it
it.
either.
Okay,
So
we'll forward it to you.
I've been sort of waiting since January.
Well,
Totally, I am not sure if I've completed it yet or not, but I will make sure that I get it completed. Because, over 8 months of time, who can remember this stuff?
We
I know.
did check, so all 5 of you are done for this year. It's kind of an October 1 to October 1 year.
Yeah.
So it's gonna happen, you completed it already for this year. So after October 1, you're gonna get a new link.
Okay.
And then we have to do it again for next year. But all 5 are done already.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm just,
I think we sent it out last February with a deadline, and most people did it at that time, but we'll make sure.
We did check.
It's all
We did,
blessed.
Okay, so we're good.
You're good.
Oh, we're all good. Wow, pressure's off.
Pressure's off.
Yeah, you don't have to send the drone out, Matt.
Until October 1st, we do it all over again.
It's so simple. Just keep your hands and feet to yourself. It's literally, it's,
the other thing is thank you for your service sitting on this board, or this commission.
Definitely.
It's greatly appreciated by our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else that the staff or commissioners would like to discuss this morning? No? If not, we could entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
We have a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks.